Hello, and welcome to my 60th video introducing my book Debugging Shakespeare. In the last video I demonstrated how the bard, in the guise of Joris Hofnagel and his supposed son Jacob Hofnagel, who first painted the flightless bird known as a dodo, were able to fool us easily by using a myriad of amazing calligraphic writing styles. In an earlier video, WS20, titled John Napier, Archibald Napier and Decimal Points, I suggested that the nickname Decalogue John for the bard's alias John Dodd was highly appropriate for someone who invented logarithms, promoted the use of decimal points, and invented his calculator device known as Napier's bones. This, by the way, leads a somewhat different interpretation of the bard's threatening epitaph in Stratford, not to disturb his bones. We can also probably get an inkling of where the bird's name Dodo originated, from his alias surname. In this video we will look at the documented genealogical connections to members of the Napier family and their extremely close family relationships to James Crichton, the extraordinary 16th century polymath and polyglot known as the Admirable Crichton, about whose amazing talents several films have been made because of his quite staggering abilities, including the ability to speak 12 languages. His various exploits were first described by suspected bard alias Thomas Egerton, who was featured in another earlier video of mine entitled WS44, Thomas Egerton and Shakespeare. The bard was obviously not averse to blowing his own trumpet, as long as he used pseudonyms to do so. We will also learn their extremely close family ties to the extraordinarily wealthy and talented Egerton family, including Lord Chancellor Thomas Egerton, known as Lord Ellesmere or Viscount Brackley, allegedly from Dodleston in Cheshire, very close to both Malpas and Shocklatch, where John Dodd preached, as well as to his alleged son and heir John Egerton, the Earl of Bridgewater. Bridgewater is in Devon, close to other bard-related towns such as Crediton, where William Perriam, the judge, originated, and the town of Bow. Incidentally, the poet John Donne was the MP for Brackley in 1602, and later the MP for Taunton, 9 miles from Bridgewater, and appointed Chief Secretary to the Lord Keeper of the Great Seal, Thomas Egerton, and was established at Egerton's London home according to Wikipedia. It is almost as if they were the very same person. It should be noted that Brackley was a noted centre for the wool trade, where Robert Spencer and Sir Ranulph Crewe were both jointly MPs. These strong family ties can be demonstrated on my extensive family tree that I call Chart Z73, compiled from already documented genealogical charts taken from visitations by the English heralds at the time, which have actually been freely available in books for hundreds of years. It is my belief that John Dodd of Malpas and Shocklatch was one and the same as Sir Thomas and John Egerton together, as well as John Napier together with his so-called father Archibald Napier, plus his so-called son Archibald Napier. That is, I am suggesting that the bard not only used aliases profusely, but he often split his own lifetime over 2 or even 3 fake generations. I believe, for instance, that the timeline of Sir Robert Crichton and his supposed son, the polymath James Crichton, parallel that of the 3-generation Napier trio. Think of them as the Father, the Son, and sometimes a Holy Ghost, each one being like a phoenix rebirth of a new and separate alias, each with his own life story. Some of their alleged exploits may never have occurred in reality, but each one has his own interesting history, invented for us by a master of storytelling. I'm fairly sure that the polymath Simon Stevin was the same individual too, and his biographical detail also fits the bard's modus operandi, an approximate timeline. So too does the antiquarian Sir William Lambard, the genealogist William Camden, and Judge and Baron of the Exchequer William Perriam of Showbrook, each of whom have been mentioned in my earlier videos. In those videos I have stated that I firmly believe that Sir Ranulph Crewe was the bard's final or last alias, and the entire alleged timeline of John Dodd of Malpas from 1549 to 1646 coincides quite well with the 3 generations of the Napier trio, as well as encompassing the complete timeline of Sir Ranulph Crewe, as well as numerous previously invented aliases. Shakespeare the author was merely a nom de plume in the eye of his creator, and Anne Hathaway's cottage a figment of the Shakespeare Birthplace Trust. The supposed gravestone in Holy Trinity Church in Stratford that visitors unknowingly travel halfway across the world to visit is sadly just a nodding token to the memory of John and his Napier bones. His real body lies where it has always lain, embalmed in a lead coffin within a private family crypt under a small chapel in the quiet village of Bartomley, a few short miles from Crewe and the town of Nantwich, where he was born, on Frog Row. The late University Challenge quizmaster Bamber Gascoigne was one descendant of the bard, inheriting an estate at West Horsley, Surrey, including West Horsley Place, dating from the 16th century, which he then restored. The bard is watched over in the church by 2 very large paintings of Moses and Aaron, that he almost certainly painted for himself before he died for this very purpose. Moses represented the 10 Commandments to his Malpas alias John Dodd, and how his nickname Decalogue John was supposedly derived. All his other aliases naturally died with him, but unlike his supposed son Hamnet, he left many real descendants via the many polygamous marriages he engaged in under the guise of some of his pseudonyms. His stories and his poems continue to entrance us through the ages, but still leave us wondering how he almost single-handedly pulled off the biggest cover-up in all of history through sheer brain power and utter determination. He did, however, leave us plenty of clues in his wake, many of them right under our nose, if only we'd been more observant and looked at the genealogy he provided for us via his alias William Camden, who naturally thought Nantwich was the best built town in the county, and allegedly said so. Thank you for watching. There will be many more videos like this in the near future. The only way to get a full appreciation of who the bard really was is to buy my book. It is available only on Shopify. Please scan the QR code shown with your mobile and you will have a direct link to Shopify. Thank you.